Right. Hi all, shall we start? Okay, then happy Valentine, guys. Okay. So spread your care, spread your love to and spread your caring to your loved ones always, right? So love is not something specifically for one day, right? So that's why it could be our close family, your friends, and especially for your family. Right. So with that, guys, starting the operations management day 2, we were discussing about the especially the intro. So then intro, we came to the production methods, right? So there are 3 production methods that you can see most of the time. So one is the job production, and then you got your batch production and the flow production. Apart from that, you have something called production layouts as well. There are flow production layouts. So we'll be come to that part as well. Now let me summarize what we want to study in this part. You have production methods, 3 types. Production methods, 3 types. Right? So one is the job production, and then batch, and then finally you have your flow production. Right? So then initial intro for this, right? You need to have a kind of a definition on how you intro, right? Introduce this one. And then what are the advantages of, or the favorable characteristics, I would say, in the job production methods. And then when you come to the, when you have the favorable or advantages, I think the best word is the favorable characteristics that you can see. I would say advantages or favorable characteristics. So at the same time, you got some unfavorable characteristics or the limitations. And finally, make sure that you know a comparison, right? How do you compare in terms of job, batch, and flow production, right? This is what required. Now, job production, and also this is really important that when you are try to remember this part with a practical example, right? Now, job. Make it up with one-to-one production එකක් කියලා. Right? මොකක්ද? One-to-one production එකක්. So there are a lot of advantages or the favorable characteristics, I would say. Right now, for example, let's say a customized outfit, a customized dress just for you, right? And then a customized birthday cake. So they'll be producing this particular product just for you, just for your requirements. And even there are some restaurants as well like that. There's not such a menu, but they will be preparing your meals based on your requirement, right? 100% customized product. So then, what do you think about the customer's point of view? The customer satisfy karana puluwa. That's one thing. හැබැයි මේ method එකේදී ඔයාලට ලොකුවට cost saving කරන්න අමාරුයි. Cost saving එකක් අමාරුයි නේද? ඔයා දන්නවා economies of scales ගන්න අමාරුයි. So when you produce high number of productions, your total production increases, but at the same time, your unit cost reduces. So that's what you get the advantages by producing large. And mass production mass production. So from the industrial revolution, mass production the companies move. Right? So you are in a position to get the cost benefit, but here unfortunately not, because why? Once the one job is done, you have to move to the next one. And the birthday cake monari එක cake එකක් එනවා strawberry දාලා මොනාරි strawberry plus chocolate or whatever, I don't know, like මොනාරි එහෙම cake එකක් ඊළඟ cake එක මොනාරි වෙන design එකක්, totally different concept එකක්. දැන් එක එක themes වලත් හදාන්නේ the birthday cakes එක මොනාරි for example මම දැකලා තියෙන ගොඩක් ලාට එක එක profession එක ගන්න doctor කෙනෙක් මොනාරි cake එකක් හදනවා මොනාරි ඒ වගේ stethoscope එකක් දාලා එහෙම හදනවා, right? මේ විදිහට එනවාට ඊළඟ එන order එකට ඔයාලට ගොඩක් ලෑස්ති වෙන්නත් වෙනවා. මොකද ඒක different order එකක්. but not the same. right? එහෙනම් ඒකේ තිබ්බ materials, ඒකේ තිබ්බ equipment සමාන ඊළඟ එකට ඒ විදිහටම use කරන්න බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? That's why now in terms of highly customized product එකක්, so customer will satisfy at the same time. One of the characteristic is that a high cost. So because of the high cost, your product price also high, so you'll be charging a higher price for that because it's a customized product. Now let's say that you can even if it is considered as even some cars, mobile phones, also there's a chance. It's something that we call some limited versions, right? So highly customized product. That limited version කිව්වොත් ගොඩක් ඒ කියන්නේ batch production එක පැත්තට a set of batch ගොඩක් ලාට කියනවා මේ වගේ cars ලෝකෙටම තියෙන 50ක්, මේ වගේ watches ලෝකෙටම තියෙන 100ක්, මේ වගේ එකක්. ඒතර ඒක batch production ගොඩක් ලාට එක්කෙනෙක්ටම කියලා මොනාරි කාර් එකක් එහෙම හැදුවොත් ඒකත් යන්නේ job production එක. So there are favorable and unfavorable characteristics, right? So got that one. So batch and flow also that we need to follow the same order, right? So you know an intro, some favorable characteristics and unfavorable characteristics, right? So what else? If we try to okay guys, so first start with the job production. Could you please come to page number 9 of the tute. I think we just mentioned the 3 types of product, the production methods, that's only. So let's try to finish this part. So like an intro, and then we come to the what are the favorable and unfavorable characteristics. So that's about our first production method, which is the job production. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි මේකට කියනවා one-to-one production එකක් කියලා. One-to-one production. Well, so I'll be sharing the content to you. Right, guys, so shall we complete the note then? You know what to write and you should know what not to write. There are something that are already printed. But the intro part, and with an example, and also favorable and unfavorable characteristics. Now let me explain. Yes, as you know, the job production is all about for a specific order for a customer. One item is produced from the beginning to end based on the current demand. දැන් ඔයා හදන කේක් එක ස්ටොප් කරලා ඊළඟ කේක් එක හදන්න පටන් ගන්නවද? නෑ. ඔයා ඒක හදලා පටන්ගෙන ඉවර කළා තමයි ඊළඟ ඕඩර් එකට යන්නේ. Right? That's a one-to-one production. So even we can write one-to-one production එකක්. ඒකේ cost එක වැඩි. නැත්නම් අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් නේද? මේ shop එකේ available හදපු කේක් එකකට මොනාරි happy birthday කියලා හරි මොනාරි එහෙම wording එකක් දාගෙන අරන් යන්නේ. ඒකට cost එක අඩුයි. Right? Right? There are like ready-made cakes are also available, which comes under the batch production. But if you want to have a highly customized product, yes, one-to-one production, job production. And remember, guys, this thing, you might think this is only for the goods. No, for a service organization as well. Now, for example, a doctor, right? Consulting a doctor is always a one-to-one production. Because can the doctor give advices for a batch of people at the same time? No, right? So one by one, that's how you get like when you made an appointment, you get an appointment number, right? So because based on your requirement is different, they cannot like commonly give you an prescribe, right? හැමෝටම එකම prescription එකක් දෙන්න විදියක් නැහැ. So remember that part always, not just applicable to the goods services as well, right? So the job production. The job production refers to the production for a specific order of a customer in which one item is produced from the beginning to the end. So those are the key points, from the beginning to the end. Yes, you got a lot of example, an outfit for a bride or a groom, making a cake for a birthday party, or maybe architectural plan. Yes. Because based on your requirement, you'll be saying, right, I want the master bedroom there, I want the balcony this side, right? So you'll be telling all the stuff. So based on your requirement, the architecture will design. So it's a one-to-one production. දැන් එතන ඇත්තටම architecture ගත්තොත් එතන ගොඩක් වෙලාවට service එකක් provide කරන්නේ. Designing is a service. Likewise. So job production, yes, and you got the favorable characteristics, yes, which is highly customized version. You got the high consumer satisfaction, and also there's no risk at all. Risk එකක් නැහැ. ඔයාට order එක ආවොත් විතරයි ඔයා produce කරන්නේ. birthday cakes හදාගෙන ඉන්න නැහැ. කාගේ හරි birthday එකක් තියෙන්නේ නේද? එයාවිල්ලා ගනි කියලා. No, not like that. The production is done to an order. ඒකන අපි කියන්නේ make to order කියලා. නේද? Make to an order. Within brackets, we discuss that point. Make to order. The concept of make to order. Make to order, right? Great. But unfavorable is a cost is high. තවත් ඔයාලට කියන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක්. cost එක high නිසා ඔයා high price එකකුත් charge කරනවා. දැන් මොනාරි අපිට මොනාරි fab එකේ හරි මොනාරි ඒ වගේ cake shop එකක තියෙන හදපු cake එක වඩා ඔයා cake එකක් හදා ගන්න price එක වැඩි අනිවාර්යයෙන්, right? So cost is high. නැත්නම් අපිට මේකක් කියන්න පුළුවන් price. මොකද ඔය cost එක වැඩි දා high price එකකුත් charge කරනවා. So price also high, right? Price එකත් වැඩි. Always skilled and trained employees are needed. You never know what's about the next order. You never know about the requirement of the customers for the next order. So it's always changing. So you need to have some skilled and trained employees. And ඊළඟ cake එකේ ඊළඟ cake එක completely වෙනස්ම දෙයක්. එතකොට ඒ skill එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒකලා කියන විදිහ මේක හදලා දෙන්න. Right? Special multi-use equipment and tools are required. Yes. special tools ඕන වෙයි. කලින් product එක කලින් එකේ use කරන්න සහ use කරන්න දේවල් ඊළඟ එකට හරියටම ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. And production is not only mainly focusing the market. මේක අපි කියනවා make to market නැත්නම් make to demand කියන එක. ඒක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. make to demand කියන එක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. make to demand. demand එකට නෙමෙයි හදන්නේ. order එකට තමයි හදන්නේ. So not make to demand. Focusing on the market means make to demand. So they do not make to demand. Don't make to demand. So those are the favorable and unfavorable characteristics that you can see in this job production. The best way is that just easily try to remember some examples, because once you try to recall the examples, you can come up with the characteristics. No issue with that. දැන් මේක කොහොමද exam එකේ අහන්න පුළුවන් එක්ක මොනාරි example එකක් තියලා ඒක මොන production method එකකටද අයිති වෙන්නේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් characteristics ටික දීලා අහන්න පුළුවන් about characteristics වලින් මොකක්ද explain වෙන production method එක කියලා. right? එහෙම නැත්නම් මොනාරි තවත් product එකක් දීලා අහන්න පුළුවන් මේකට suitable production method එක මොනවාද? So what are the reasons why you are recommending that method? So those are the possible questions which could be tested. Right guys, so try to complete that, and then we'll move to the next production method, which is the batch production. Batch production එකට එන්න හදා. Okay, shall we write another example? Consulting a doctor. Yes, that's also job production. තවත් ඉතින් සර්විස් සෙක්ටර් එකේ මේක පොඩ්ඩක් අහගන්න. සර්විස් සෙක්ටර් එකේ තවත් ගන්න පුළුවන් මොනාරි සර්ජරි එකක් වගේ මොනාරි ඔපරේෂන් එකක් නේද? ඒ වගේ දෙයක්ත් යන්නේ job production එකක්. නේද? මොනාරි වගේ දෙයකට මොකද just for you that the patient patient focus කරේ තමයි ඒක කරන්නේ. ළඟ එක ඊට වඩා වෙනස් සර්ජරි එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර high skill is required. So those are the set of it's always remember, not just job production belong to goods, even for a service as well, right? So consultation especially that we can consider, which comes under that. Right, so I'll be giving you like another 2 minutes, and then we'll quickly move to the batch production. Batch production. So batch production ගත්තොත් ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් hybrid version එකක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකේ සමහර job related characteristics තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Flow production එකේ characteristics තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? We'll see. Now, especially here, when I'm saying cost is higher, you should be you're knowing the fact that why is the cost is higher. Then on job production එකට ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ද materials වගේ ගොඩක් එකපාර ගන්න? නෑ. එහෙනම් ඔයාලට ලොකු discounts bulk purchases කරද්දී දෙන discounts වගේ දේවල් ඔයාලට ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. So there are no such a discounts for you because you will be purchasing only the required amount of materials only for that product, for that order. ඊළඟ order එක ඊට වඩා වෙනස් දෙයක්. ඒක කේක් එකක් අද strawberry cake එකක්. ඉතින් ඔයාලට expect කරන්න බෑනේ ඔයා strawberry ගොඩක් purchase කරන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඔයා cakes හදන්නේ strawberry cake ම විතරයි නම් as a flow production, then you can purchase those things, right? As a bulk purchases. අපි කියනවා එකපාර ගොඩක් ගන්නට bulk purchase එකක්. So definitely you will be getting some discounts, so the cost will reduce. And also when you are doing the same thing for a continuous period of time, what will happen, right? You know something called specialization. Because පළවෙනි cakes 10ට ගියේ පැය දෙකක් නම් හදන්න ඊළඟ එකට ඊට වඩා කාලය අඩු වෙනවා. You know the practice, right? But here you are moving to another different order, so then you have to plan from the beginning, so it consumes time. So that's what, because time is cost. So the cost is higher. But at the same time, you enjoy some favorable characteristics as well. Something like this is a good one. So no risk, I mean like less risk in the production. මොකද order එකට දැන් කෙනෙක් birthday cake එකට cake එකක් order කරොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් මේක අරගෙන යනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් at least ඔයා මේකට advance එකක් හරි ගන්නවා ඇති. එහෙම නැත්නම් full payment එක හරි. නේද ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. අන්න එතනදී ඔයාට risk එකක් නැහැ. right? මේකට අනිවාර්යෙන්ම the order is confirmed. So there's no such a risk. හැබැයි ඔය cakes 10ක් වගේ හදලා තිබුණා නම් සමහරවිට එතන wastage එකක් unsold items තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. So which is again a cost for you, right? But here even it's very little number of production in terms of the product count, but still the risk is low. Right, yeah. So I hope you are clear and done with the note as well for our first production method. Right. දැන් එක production method එකක් ඔළුවට ආවට පස්සේ අනිත් එක simply පුළුවන්. Batch and flow production. Right? Because you know the characteristics. ඒවම තමයි පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් වෙලා හදන්නේ. Cost එක ගැන idea එකක් ගන්න. මේ බලන්න. Guys, if you're still writing, please let me know. Just drop me a message so then I can share the screen. No worries with that. Right. So assuming that we are done with writing, moving to our next type of thing called the batch production. Batch production. අපි බලමු මොකක්ද batch production කියලා කියන්නේ. Right. Shall we continue the same example? Right. හරි. එහෙනම් cakes ගමු. හොඳ example එක cake. හරි. එහෙනම් දැන් මෙතන ඔයා කරන්නේ මේ customize cake හදන්නේ නැහැ ඔයා. Right? ඔයා cake මොනාරි sample cakes කීපයක් තියෙනවා ළඟ. අපි හිතමු cake types තුනක් විතර. මේ තුනෙන් ඔයා forecast කරන මෙච්චරක් sale එකක් වෙයි කියලා. එකකින් cake පහ ගානේ වගේ හදාගෙන ඔයාගේ showcase වල දාලා තියෙනවා. Right? And make an example for a batch production. Right? Correct. So what are the things compared? Now we have to write the characteristics compared to the job production. Right? Now I would say one of variable is you finish the product and also you can modify it from the one batch to another. One batch to another. තවත් මේකට simple example එකක් තමයි මොනාරි let's say that you are producing a batch of uniforms for a company. නේද? මොනාරි අපිට මොනාරි company එකට uniforms. ඒතර company එකට uniforms order කරද්දී uniform දෙක තුනක් order කරන්නේ නැහැ. නැත්නම් මොනාරි promotional t-shirts, caps. Promotional t-shirts and caps. Sometimes නේද ඔයගොල්ලෝ තර school වල එහෙම t-shirts print කරන්නේ. මොනාරි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ A level year එකට වෙනම t-shirt එකක් print කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොනාරි event එකකට, commerce day එකකට, big match එකකට right t-shirt එකක් print කරොත් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් batch එකකට print කරනවා right. T-shirt 100ක් 200ක් or maybe 50ක් 100ක් depending on that right. එහෙනම් මෙතනදී එක batch එකක්. So here one batch will be produced. So compared to the job production, the cost is a bit less. Why? For example, let's say promotional t-shirts, 100 t-shirts, uniforms, 50 uniforms. So then you will purchase it, a bulk materials, have a flow production, but still you will be purchasing some materials. So then you will be eligible for some discounts. So then to somewhat your cost is reduced, right? So those are the favorable things. And also, remember that one I said to you, this one, batch is kind of a hybrid version. Now the question arises whether you make to order or the make to demand. What do you think? Make to order, the make to demand. මේක ක්‍රම දෙකකින්ම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් example එකක් වගේ uniforms hari promotional t-shirts අපිට මොනාරි school එක promotional t-shirts නැත්නම් මොනාරි company එක event එක t-shirt එකක් ගන්නවා. ඒතර ඒ වගේව කලින් හදලා තියන්නේ නැහැ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. ඔයාට ඒ වගේ order එකක් ආවොත් you will be processing right. So then that is something make to order. So which is also applicable in the job production as well. But and also at some point of view there could be make to demand as well. Example එකක් විදිහට මම කියන්නේ කේක් හදන කෙනෙක් හරි ආයෙත් මෙච්චර කේක් ඩිමාන්ඩ් එකක් වෙයි. කේක් මම 20ක් හදන month එකට. ඒ වගේ. And also one of the best example is the bakery items as well. Right? Bakery items with IT වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ batch production එක. Right? So including cake. හරි නම මොනාරි set එකක් හදලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මොනාරි sweets වගේ item sweets වගේ item කඩලා හදලා තියෙනවා. ඒතර ඒගොල්ලෝ demand කරන හරිය මෙච්චරක් විකි නෙයි කියන එක. ඒ නිසා the batch production will happen in the both ways. It could be sometime make to order or make to demand. ඒ කියන්නේ order එකක් ආවොත් ඔයාට ඒ වගේ t-shirts වලට order එකක් ආවොත් ඔයාගේ වැඩ ටික පටන් ගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම සමහර instance වල so based on the type of product or the type of the good, sometime maybe you'll be doing some forecasting and then you will think that will be able to sell this much of a quantity, then you will be manufacturing or producing that batch, right? A batch of 20 cakes per month you will be forecasting that you will be able to sell. අපිට මොනාරි ඔය seasonal time එකට Christmas වෙන්න පුළුවන්, April වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ විදිහට සමහර sweets items ඒගොල්ලෝ batch එකක් විතර හදලා තියෙනවා. එච්චර විතර sale එකක් දෙයි කියලා ඒගොල්ලෝ expect කරනවා. Right? So this could be happening in the both ways, right? That's why I think about the unfavorable characteristics. Unfavorable. And also in terms of the unit cost එක මොකද හිතන්නේ? අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම unit cost is less than compared to the job. So that is how you need to write the characteristics. අපිට unit cost එක ගන්න පුළුවන් example එකක් විතර එක කේක් එකක් හදද්දී අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම unit cost එක වැඩි. හැබැයි කේක් 20ක් විතර හදලා එකපාර නෙමෙයි සැරේ විකුණන්න පුළුවන්. and අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් unit cost. So less unit cost compared to the job production. හැමතිස්සෙම අපි compare කර තමයි යන්නේ. What else? In terms of the unfavorable thing, again cost එක high වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? Cost එක high වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඇයි? හිතන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක්. එක company එකක promotional t-shirts ඒගොල්ලන් හදන්න කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ material එකේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන මේ color combinations දාන්න. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන අපිට ඕනේ color එක නැති t-shirt එකක්. Just a colorless t-shirt. දැන් ඒකෙන් කියන්නේ මොනාරි V shape නැත්නම් Chinese color එකක් දාන්න මේ විදිහට. හරියන ඔයාලට ඊළඟ product එක ඔයාගේ ඊළඟ batch එකේ ඉඳලා produce කරන්න. Right? So then still you might require some specific equipment, some specific materials. It is a හැමතිස්සෙම compared to job, there are some favorable, but if you compare with the flow production still, now for example in terms of the unit cost, order එක point එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් something like this. Unit cost is less compared to job, but at the same time as an unfavorable characteristic, unit cost would be high compared to the flow production because you are somewhat you're between some point between the job and the flow production. You are in a somewhere between, right? So likewise we can come up with the unfavorable characteristics as well. Correct. So those are the set of things I would like to highlight in terms of the batch production. Again, similar things are repeating because why? You know the basic one. If you are very familiar about the one production method, and then it's easy to build the characteristics in terms of the favorable one and the unfavorable ones because you know the structure. Right. So here, let me share you the content in terms of the batch production. Batch production එක කියලා කියන්නේ. Here the production of similar items take place at one time. එක වගේ items කීපයක් එකවර හදනවා, right? Similar items take at one time. So while the production is carried out on a continuous process, the material, labor, the number of units, types and working hours can be different from batch to batch. Batch එකෙන් batch එකට මේක වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. And true they are similar in nature mostly. Right? Production of bakery items, sewing of uniforms, preschool students. So those are the examples which you need to write in the provided box. right? What else, guys? Shall we add some more examples? Something like promotional t-shirts and caps. Promotional caps, t-shirts, those are comes under batch production. Anit එක අර මම කිව්ව limited versions, right? There are something called limited version product. එකක් එන්නේ මේ batch production කියන category එකට, right? So limited version මාදී limited number of car models, limited number of some shoes sometime, right? So you will be producing very limited number of quantity as a batch. And so promotional caps, t-shirts, some limited edition products. So මේ වගේ product එකකින් හරියම පොඩි quantity එකක් තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ හදන්නේ. So then that as a batch production. හරි දැන් services පැත්තේ මොනවද? දැන් අපි හිතමු restaurant එකක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ menu type එක. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න සාමාන්‍ය මොනාරි menu එකට order එකක් දීලා නේද? a la carte වගේ දෙයක් නම් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් yes that's the job production. හැබැයි මොනාරි ඒගොල්ලෝ buffet එකකට නම් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අපි හිතමු එදා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ restaurant එකක් හරි මොනාරි දෙයකදී ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙන්නේ buffet theme එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. right? එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ expect කරනවා අද මේකට 50 දෙනෙක් විතර participate වෙයි කියලා හදන එක batch එකකට production එකක් හදනවා. එතකොට එන හැමෝම ඒකේ තියෙන menu එකේ තියෙන නත්තම right ඒ buffet එකේ තියෙන item තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ට කෑම කන්න තියෙන්නේ. right? එතකොට අර customized version එකක් නැහැ. So we can remember always this could apply to the service sector point of view as well. Right? Correct. So shall we complete that one? So if a person is running a buffet restaurant, yes, so that's a batch production. That's a batch production. But එතන make to order නෙමෙයි make to demand. Like I said, මේ දෙකම වෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. එතන ආ හිතන අද මෙච්චර ගානක් count එකක් A නේ. count එක base කරගෙන හදනවා. හැබැයි එතන cost saving තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. අර job production එකට වඩා නේද? එක එක item එක customer ට customize කර meal එකක් දෙනවට වඩා ඔයාට එතන අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම savings තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. So always try to write the favorable or it could be favorable or the unfavorable characteristics by comparing to job or flow. If you're writing for the job production, try to compare with the batch and flow likewise. Because the moment you started to compare, then you will come up with more items, more characteristics. Yes, you got the finish of the product can be modified from one to another batch. Yes, ඊළඟ batch එකට ඒක modified වෙනවා. ඒ batch එක හදලා ඉවරයි. ඒ t-shirt set එක print කරලා ඉවරයි. එහෙනම් ඊළඟ set එකට. ඔයාලට මොනවාරි modification එකක් කරන්න chance එකක් තියෙනවා. Yes, you will be receiving some discounts. Because why? For some case, you'll be purchasing some large amount of materials. Unit cost is less. Now remember this fact. You cannot just write unit cost is less. මේ බලන්න දැන් ඔයා කලබලෙද unit cost less කියලා ලියුවා නම් ඒක වැරදි අර්ථකම. මේ විදිහට තිබුණා. So you need to specifically tell unit cost is less compare the job production likewise එනවා නිකන් unit cost is less කියලා කිව්වනම් ඒක correct answer එකක් නෙමෙයි. Because why? At the same time they are saying one of unfavorable characteristic is that unit cost is high relevant to the flow production. So it's something that in a comparative mindset එකකින් තමයි මේක දාන්න වෙන්නේ, right? And just unit cost is high, or but just say unit cost less is so high, it doesn't make any sense. So always try to compare with the job or the flow production. cost එකත් අපිට high කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. මෙන්න මේ වගේ දෙයකදී මම කියන්නේ ඊළඟ batch එකට ඔයාලට ගොඩක් ready වෙන්න වෙනවා. ඊළඟ batch එකට ඔයාලට ගොඩක් ready වෙන්න වෙයි. right? example එකකට අපිට මොනවාරි printing shop එක වගේ අපිට ගන්න මේ batch production. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන් තියෙන ඊළඟ තියෙන අර print what you call those pallets වගේ දේවල් ඒගොල්ලන් change කරන්න වෙනවා ඊළඟ set එකට යද්දී. but ඊළඟ batch එක totally different one. So then yes, still there could be some cost. Like I said, promotional t-shirts, avilla first set එක color එකක් නැති white and red. ඊළඟ කියනවා color එක තියෙන blue and white. හරි මොනාරි blue and black or whatever thing. අහිනා ඔයාලට ආපහු ඒකට materials purchase කරන්න වෙනවා. අනිකේ material quality එකක් වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Maybe cotton or silk likewise. So try to think in that manner, practical. So then you can easily identify the stuff. And unit cost is high related to the flow production, reduction in economics of large scale. Yes, large scale so reductions. It's very limited. Quantity is limited. Quantity is limited. එහෙනම් මම එක production method එකක characteristics fully දන්නවා කියන්නේ අනිත් method එකත් ඔයාලට ඒ විදිහටම හිතලා comparatively answer එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right guys, so I'll be giving like another 2 minutes for this. Then shall we move to our final production method, flow production. Flow production එකට එන්න හදන්න. මේක තමයි ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට use කරන method එකක් flow production. The large companies are using the flow production method. So here one of example is the limited edition products, something like example shoes, vehicles, limited edition. ඒ product එක ඒගොල්ලෝ ගොඩක් හදන්නේ නැහැ, කීපයක් හදන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක යන්නේ batch production method එකටම තමයි, batch production, right? Batch production. So there are some things like that, especially watches, like cars, shoes, right? Limited editions. They'll be only producing a small number of quantity. Right, so next one is the flow production. Flow production. Right. Now the best example for the flow production අපි මේ ගැන කතා කරනවා ඔයගේ marketing lesson එකෙත් මම හිතන්නේ next lesson එක. Yes, marketing lesson. මොකද මේ production method එකට අනුව market කරන විදිහත් වෙනස්. Right? The example like විදිහට for you to tell, there's a one thing called the Ford company. You all know the Ford Motors. There was a model called the Model T car. Internet search flow production. So one of our best example for the flow production, right? Flow production. Ford Model T car. Model T car. Right? I'll show you this car as well to you. Right? I'll make sure I can on the screen again. Now the flow production is about from one single product. එක product එකයි තියෙන්නේ. Right? ඒ product එකෙන් මොනවද කරන්නේ? Large number of quantities. ආට පුළුවන් තරම් production එකක් කරනවා. Right? So one single product. So it could be a vehicle, it could be a mobile phone, it could be whatever the good. From this one you'll be producing a large quantity. There's a continuous production is there, right? So yes, so then I would say in terms of cost, yes, less unit cost compared to all job and batch production, and you will be enjoying the economies of scale. Why? To produce a large quantity, you require to purchase large materials. So then you will be able to purchase as bulk. So then you'll be able to get some discounts as well. And also the chance is there for you to use the technology. The high technology use කරන්න පුළුවන්. මම මේව ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා. Job production එකකට ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ද ගොඩාක්ම technology use කරන්න බෑ. ඒක customize කරන නිසා ටිකක් manual work එකක් තියනවා කරන්න. Correct? So but here you can use the technology, and also since you are using the technology, this could be something related to the, I would say, a capital intensive production එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Now this is an economic word, you know, the capital intensive and the labor intensive. අපි මේ flow එක පැත්තට ඉඳලා job පැත්තට આવොත් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේක තියෙන්නේ more human intervention එකක්. මොකද product එක ඊළඟට වෙනස්, ඒ නිසා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ලොකුට ටෙක්නොලොජි එක machineries use කරන්න අමාරුයි. ඒ නිසා ගොඩක් මේක labor intensive. ගොඩක් workers ලා මේකට වැඩ කරනවා මේ job production. හැබැයි job එකේ ඉඳලා flow එක පැත්තට එද්දී make a capital intensive, I will be using the machineries. Why? Because the product is identical. The product is identical. So then, and also will be producing like maybe 1,000 or like 10,000 or 1,000,000 products. So then it's capital intensive. Then I will say less number of workers. Less number of workers. So now again labor cost එක අඩුයි කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. Labor cost එක අඩුයි. මේ විතර ඔයාලට characteristics කීපයක් ගන්න පුළුවන් favorable characteristics. හැබැයි මේකේ unfavorable characteristics තියෙනවා මොනවාද? මේ වගේ production එකට යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ with the high investment is required. So you cannot do for this part if you are a small medium enterprise. So then, because why? In order to invest in the technology, in order to invest in those machineries, and also will be requiring a large space for the production. So then, a high or a large amount of capital is required as an investment, and also because of new technology. Right? The member may be make an unfavorable part in from the customer's point of view. There's no customization. The හැමෝටම එකම product එක මේකේ වෙනසක් නැහැ. Because we produce this as a general product to everyone. There's no customization. So that also one thing, one unfavorable part. And also to bring this up, again, the concept that we discussed, whether it's made to order or the made to demand. And අපි දන්නවා batch production එකේ situations දෙකම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Job production එකේ only the made to order. Now what do you think about the flow production? Yes, flow production එක කරන්නේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම make to demand. Demand එක මත. මොනවාද example දැන් අපිට මොනවාරි soft drinks වගේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ගමු Coca-Cola soft drinks. Now in these soft drinks, දැන් ඔයා Coca-Cola order කරාම නෙමෙයිනේ Coca-Cola company එක Coca-Cola හදන්නේ. that ඒගොල්ල demand කරන මෙච්චර sale එකක් වෙයි. Likewise. එහෙනම් මොනවාද? You will be yes, make to order, make to meet the market demand. ඒ නිසා ඔයාලට මොනවද කරන්නේ? ඔයා product එක හදලා පුළුවන් තරම් store කරලා තියෙනවා. එන අනිත් පැත්තේ ඒකට cost එකකුත් යනවා because you have to stock. You have to store. හැබැයි job and batch වගේ or storage cost එකත් එච්චරම යන්නේ නැහැ because less storage cost, especially something like job production. Storage cost එකක් නැති තරම්. order එක හැදුවට පස්සේ හදපු ගාම ඇවිල්ලා customer අරගෙන යනවා. හැබැයි මෙතන එහෙම නැහැ because you are producing a large one. Yes, your cost is high and also especially the storage cost. But not only that, you will be facing what? The market risk is there. Market risk, market demand forecasted. So you'll be producing this product based on a forecasted demand. And a forecasted demand අඩු වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, වැඩි වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Example එකක් විදිහට හිතන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක්. අපි හිතමු හරි. මෙහෙම එකක් ගමු. One of example. Let's say that one of a soft drink producing company had a target. ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතන ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ product එකේ 1 million sold වෙයි කියලා. Right? 1 million sold වෙයි කියලා. So this is the estimated or the forecasted demand. So this will be communicated to the production manager. So production manager will work accordingly, as per the data given by the marketing manager, because he said that there would be a 1 million forecasted demand for our product. But unfortunately, they were able to sell, right, only like 750,000. Right? And now they face the market risk. Because why? There's no guarantee, there's no assurance. There's no assure or a guarantee saying that you will be able to sell all the products as you estimated or as you forecasted or as you budgeted. So there could be always variance. So that's what we call the sales variance could be arises there. But something like job and batch production, there are no sales variance. Production units equal to their selling units. Production units equal to the selling units, but here not the case. So you'll be facing the market risk. Then you need to do some lot of advertising as well. Balani ගොඩක්ම advertise කරන company දැන් ඔයා දකින්නද ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස්මන්ට් යන මොනාරි ගොඩක්ම සුපර් කාර්ස් වල වගේ ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස්මන්ට් යනවා දකින්නද ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. Lamborghini වෙන්න පුළුවන්, Ferrari වගේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අඩු. මොකද ඒක ගොඩක් කස්ටමයිස් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් විතරයි. But all the normal cars මොනාරි Toyota වෙන්න පුළුවන්, Nissan වෙන්න පුළුවන්. They do advertising because why they produce on a forecast. ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතනවා මෙච්චර units ගානක් sale වෙයි කියලා. Likewise, so it comes under the flow production. Comes under the flow production. Right. දැන් මම ඔයාලට මේකට ස්ටෝරි එකක් කියනවා කියලා about the Model T car. Right? Model T car. මේ Model T car එක කියලා කියන්නේ Ford Motor Companies වලින් Ford Motors ඒගොල්ලෝ හදපු car එකක්. ඒකේ their main target එකලා තිබ්බේ to produce this Model T vehicles as much as possible. You know, as per the flow production. Unit cost එක අඩු කරලා පුළුවන් තරම් වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් හදලා මේක affordable product එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ මේක purchase කරන්න. At the end of the day මොනවාද උනේ මේ car එක කොච්චර produce කරාද කිව්වොත් ඒකේ වැඩ කරපු factory එකේ වැඩ කරපු employees ලා පවා මේ car එකෙන් තමයි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ factory එකේ වැඩ කරන්නේ. එතකොට ඒක හිතාගන්න කොච්චර flow production එකක් කරලා තියනවාද කොච්චර less cost එකට මේගොල්ලන්ට මේ product එක දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක. So likewise you see all the pros and cons අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපිට ඕනම concept එක the favorable and unfavorable points are there, right? So this is all about the flow production, right? So let's complete the note then. So then we can move to the production layouts. Sorry, now before that we need to do a comparison as well. අපි පොඩි comparison එකකටත් යමු. So then we'll be take some standard criteria. So based on that we can do some comparison. Flow production refers to the production of large amount of one kind of product. එකකින් ගොඩාක් හදනවා. සරලව මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. On a continued basis. මේක නවත්තන්නෙත් නෑ. නැවතුවොත් batch production වෙනවනේ. ඒ දෙක දිගටම හදාගෙන යනවා. මේ එකම product එක, right? A large amount of one kind of product. එනවා මේ වගේ ගන්න පුළුවන් soft drinks, motor vehicles ඊට අමතරව you know, even like the production of electronic items මේ ඔක්කොම අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් flow production එක යටතේ. Maybe like clothing items. So the favorable characteristic the unit cost here. Unit cost එක හරිම අඩුයි මේකේ. මොකද economies of scales තියෙන නිසා. With the large production. Mostly flow production can be controlled by few employees, just like I said, not the labor intensive, capital intensive. The capital intensive can have more machineries that will be using. You know the technical, you know the word of capital intensive, no need to explain. And the new technology can be used easily because why? You'll be producing a unique product, not the unique one. Identical product, yes, identical product. And financial difficulties, yes, මම කියන්නේ මේක large investment එකක් ඕනේ. ඒතර මේ වගේ production එකක් කරන්න අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම large investment එකක් ඕනේ. Difficulty in making any changes, නේද? No customization, no changes at all. දැන් මොනාරි Atlas company හදන පෑනක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. එතකොට ඒකේ no customization. කෙනෙක්ට ඕන නම් මොනාරි ඒකේ customize කරලා ගන්න බෑ. But standard or identical product, and also they'll be facing the market risk as well. Why? What's the reason? Make to order, right? Make to demand. So they'll be producing to meet the current market demand. So that's why there's a risk. Right, so I'll be giving you like another 1 minute, and I hope you're already done. And let's move to a comparison, right? අපි බලමු කොහොමද මේක compare කරලා බලන්නේ කියලා, right? The comparison. Right, guys, so assuming that you are done with writing and moving to a comparison, right? Let's quickly do this. Now, what do you think? I have come up with some criteria, right? I will do a comparison based on the criteria. So, what are the criteria I got? In terms of the volume of output, what does it mean? Output take a key the number of units, the input, process, output, the conversion process, and product range. So what does it mean by product range? Then example like you think a production product range. The flow production, one product range, a product but in terms of batch and the job production, or product range vary. හැබැයි එකපාරව හදන්න එක ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් විතරයි. හැබැයි අනිත් පැත්තට ගියාට පස්සේ flow production එකේ අනිත් පැත්ත range එක එකයි හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ product එක ගොඩක් හදනවා. Right. The flexibility in the production මොන හරි changes කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Customize කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? So that flexibility is there. Then ඔයාගේ job production එකක් නම් නේද? ඔයාලට call කළාම කියන්න පුළුවන් මෙන්න මේ change එක කරන්න කියලා. But you cannot do like that when you come to a flow production, right? So likewise, and also this point, make to order or make to demand. You can order the hadanne, නැත්තම් demand එකද කියන එක. මේක තවත් word එකක් use කරන mark to make to demand එහෙම නැත්තම් make to stock කියලා ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. Same meaning නා. Make to stock කරන්නද. ගොඩක් storage වල තමයි හදන්නේ stock කරලා තියන්න. Right, now starting with the first one. What do you think? Volume of output. There's one output is there always, right? A one output or very low output. So I would say it's very low, right? Job production එකක් කියලා කියනත් පුළුවන්, but I would say like it's very low. And batch, I would say, what do you think about the batch? Yes, a medium quantity. Medium. එක අපිට හරියට කියන්න බෑ මොකද මේක it's like the hybrid method, right? හැබැයි මෙතන අපිට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කියන්න පුළුවන් volume of output is high. High output එකක් මෙතන somewhere between the job and the flow production. So I would say medium quantity. Right, medium units 50ක් වෙනක් පුළුවන් 100ක් වෙනක් පුළුවන් medium quantity, but surely එකට වඩා නම් වැඩි. Surely එකට වඩා වැඩි මොකද ඒක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ batch production එක කියලා. ඒක batch එකක්. So very low, medium quantity and high. In terms of the product range එක varied, right? Or a varied set of product you will be using. Varied product එකක්. Why? ඔයාට එන order එක වෙනස් ඒ හැම order එකක්ම බාර ගන්න නිසා වගේ range එක වැඩි. This is also I would say medium. මේක ගොඩක් වෙලාවලදී medium එකක් නේ. But product range එකක් නෑ නේද? Very low, very low. Very low of product range. Because why? One single product you will be producing, right? මෙතන very low කියලා ගන්නත් පුළුවන් නැත්නම් only one කියලා වඩ ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. Only one product එකෙන් ගොඩාක් හදනවා. ඒ නිසා it could be very low එහෙම නැත්නම් only one. The flexibility of production process, it's very high. Yes, you can do all the changes, no doubt with that. So very high based on your requirements. But මෙතනත් ඉතින් medium or keyboard පොඩි වෙනසක් කරගන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. The flexibility, yes, the medium or I would say normal, right? මොන හරි දෙයක් කරගන්න පුළුවන් keyword change එකක් ගැටලුවක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. However, there's no flexibility at all. There's no flexibility at all. It's very low, right? It's not at all. නැති තරමටම නේද? So no flexibility. Flexibility එකක් ඇත්තෙම නැහැ. Then you got the made to order or for stock. I would say yes, for the job production අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම order එකට තමයි හදන්නේ. ඒ නිසා තමයි අපි කිව්ව risk එක අඩුයි කියලා. So then you got the make to order. So because that අපි මෙතන add කරොත් risk එක කියන එක නේද? risk එක තව point එකක් add කරොත් so low risk එකක් නැති තරම්. why ඔයාට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එක්ක advance payment එකක් ගන්නවා නැත්නම් full payment එක ගන්නවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේක order එක confirm වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි මේක හදන්න පටන් ගන්න. Low risk, right? No market risk. What do you think about this? නේද මේක මම කියවනේ දෙපැත්තටම වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. දැන් bakery products, cakes වගේ නම් make to demand. එච්චරක් මඩ විකිනේ නේද? Sweets වගේ items. හැබැයි අනිත් පැත්තට ඒගොල්ලෝ require කළ ඉල්ලුවොත් අන්න එතනදී make to order. ඒ නිසා මේක දෙපැත්තටම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. make to order වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. So make to order or make to demand or produce make to demand. So both the ways are possible. But here, yes, make to demand in the sense that forecasted demand, the forecasted market demand එක තමයි මේකල target කරන්නේ. නම් make to demand. So in terms of the risk, මෙතන ඉතින් risk එක ටිකක් medium කියලා මම ගන්නවා. medium risk එකක් තියෙන. හැබැයි සමහර risk එක නැතිම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අර t-shirts order එකක් වගේ ගත්තොත් ගොඩක් වෙලාට ආයේ advance payment එකක් නැත්නම් full payment එකක් අරගෙන තමයි ඒ production එක පටන් ගන්න. ඒ නිසා risk එකක් නැහැ. හැබැයි අර මම කියවනේ bakery items cake 10ක් 20ක් වගේ හදලා විකුණනවා නම් අන්න එතනදී yes there could be somewhat risk එතන පොඩි risk එකක් තියෙන පුළුවන්. මෙතන තමයි high risk. Yes, high risk is there. High risk. So that's why you need to have more advertising campaigns for these kind of products to somehow to sell all the produced items, because production was done based on the market demand, the estimated demand. So then you make sure that you're doing a lot of promotional activities to somehow promote this product in order to maximize the number of sales. ඉතින් මේක අමතරව guys අපිට තව ඉන්න පුළුවන් criteria ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? ඒ ටික අපි කතා කළා දෙන example එකක් අපිට cost කියන criteria එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. What else? Investment නේද? මෙතන job production පොඩි investment එකක් තිබුණත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ මෙතන high investment එකක් ඕනේ technology පැත්ත ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ labor intensive the capital incentive දෙක ගන්න පුළුවන්. So more labor interaction is there, and this is medium, and again you can control this with the minimum number of employees. So technology in use, right? Less technology, medium and high technology, maybe that අපිට criteria කීපයක් ගන්න පුළුවන්, but coming up with some basic criteria. Right. Guys, will you be able to complete this chart? You don't have to write the criteria, I guess it's already there. And guys, before that you have some table, බලන්න table එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. So which you have to do by yourself. It's a summary. හරි, මම මේකට එන්න කලින් මම ඔයාලට explain කරන්න මොකක්ද ඔයාලට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ කියලා. So this is how you come up with the short note. මේක ඔයාලට මම space දාලා තින්නේ තනියම short note එකකට එන්න. මොනවාද short note එක? දැන් මෙන්න මේ වගේ concepts අපි පාඩම් කරද්දී මේ වගේ කොටස් තුනක් තියෙනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්, හතරක් තියෙනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැමදෙස්සෙම අපි මේවද එක page එකකට ගන්න ඕනේ. හරි, මොනවද කරන්න තියෙන්නේ? එහෙනම් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් intro එකක්. So first column is for like intro. So then intro for job, intro for batch and flow. Right? And then examples. Right? Example for job production, example for batch and flow. And then favorable characteristics. So you'll be drafting here all the favorable and the unfavorable characteristics. You know, make it like a one snapshot, all three production methods in a one page. Then you look at this one, you'll be realizing what are the favorables here, and these favorables you consider as unfavorable in the batch production. So unfavorable in batch production comes as favorable to this side. So likewise, it's really easy if you know when you study such a concept, try to come up with a summary or a snapshot like this. So then you can fill it by yourself. So try to come up with more examples, more favorable and unfavorable characteristics. Right, great. So you need to make sure that you do that. Then මෙතන මම ටික්ස් විතරයි දැම්මේ because I remember එක batch එක student කෙනෙක්ගේ මම course attitude එක දකිද්දි මේ ඒ students උත් ඒ හැම column එකේ කොටකට මෙව හරිය දාලා තියෙනවා. මොනවත් ලියලා නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ මම හයි කියලා. ඊට අර screen එකේ පැහැදිලි කරද්දි ඉතින් මේ හරියක්ද මම එයාත් මේව හරිය දාගෙන තියෙනවා. Nothing he has completed. හරි එහෙම වෙන්න එපා. So try to come up with a summary. Right. So then guys, we'll come to this part. Yes, another the production method summary. Right, will you be able to take this please? And if you have any clarifications, please let me know. So this is a separate one, you have to take it separately. criteria අපිට 10ක් විතර උනත් පල්ලෙහාට ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? So get that idea. හැබැයි ගොඩක් අය exam එකේදී මේ වගේ දෙයක් ආවොත් ගොඩක් අය ඒගොල්ලෝ maximum to 4 points සාමාන්‍ය check කරන්නේ 4 points විතරයි. මම මේක ලියන්න දුන්නොත් හැබැයි මොනාරි MCQ ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලදී අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මොන වගේ range එකක් ඒගොල්ලෝ test කරනවද කියලා. Right. So I'll give you like a couple of minutes. Right. Now, with that, we'll have a quick chat on the factors to be considered when selecting the production method. Now, if you factors the balance example, like now, how do you decide? How do you decide whether you are going with the job production? Mama batch production Mama flow production. So likewise, so there are some criteria, there are some factors that you need to make sure that you think before you select the best or the most suitable production method for you. Great. Alright, then mama එහෙම දා හිතමු. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම බලන්න වෙනවා ඉතින් ඔයාගේ capacity එක, right? The business, whether you are a small and medium enterprise businesses, you are a large scale business, especially your capacity has to be checked before you think of the job or batch or flow production. Now, as a start, maybe you will be doing some job production. So, but maybe once you grow with your business, so then you move to batch and then a flow production, right? And also the nature of product කියන එකත් අපිට බලන්න වෙනවා. දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගොඩාක්ම high cost වගේ දෙයක්. අපි ගත්තොත් මොනාරි the production of airplanes, production of ships, ගොඩක් වෙලාවට එක්ක batch and job. මොකද මං හිතන්නේ මාසෙකට අවුරුද්දකට planes 5000ක් 10000ක් එක company එක හදනවා කියලා, right? It take time. So maximum maybe like 400 500 මං දන්නේ ඊටත් අඩු දෙකින් එක. But I'm exactly sure flow production නම් යන්නේ නැහැ, right? එක්ක batch or job production කියන category එක. මොකද ඒකේ යන time එක වැඩි කියන unit එකේ තියෙන cost එක වැඩි, right? හැබැයි මම මේ ලියන marketing වගේ දෙයක් කවදාවත් job production එකටවත් batch production එකටවත් ඉන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක යන අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම flow production. හැබැයි ඔය ගොඩක් වෙලාවට batch production උත් එන්න පුළුවන්. සමහර අපි දැන් pens වගේ ගන්න flow production නේ. හැබැයි සමහරව customized pens දිනනවා. ඒකට ඒක atlas එකකින් request කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොනවාරි school එකක නම ගහලා company එක නම ගහලා මොනවාරි ඔය pan බෙදනවා වගේ activities වලට නේද? ඒ වගේ සමහරව දැක්ලා තියෙන customize කියන්නත් බෑ ඒක. කෙනෙක්ට විතරක් නෙමෙයි batch එකක් නේද? මොනවාරි school එක නමක් ගාලා මොනවාරි event එක නමක් ගාලා ඒ pan එකක් දෙනවා. හැබැයි අර product එකම තමයි නේද? මේ normal use කරන pan එක හැබැයි වෙනස් කරලා තියෙනවා. And a batch production, something like this, right? So that's what we need to think the capacity of the manufacturer, the investment capacity. What a part of flow production again. You think that it's better to go with the flow production, but you are unable to do so because the characteristics of that high investment, the technology, right? The space required is much higher for that, and also the face. Seen the risk, right? So you should be strong enough to face the risk in terms of this part, right? So guys, what else? And here I would like to highlight this part, a good criteria. There's something called your purchasing pattern, a very good one. A purchasing pattern. What do you mean by the purchasing pattern? Purchasing pattern, right? There could be two patterns. Mama කියන එකක් තමයි regular basis and occasionally. මම මෙහෙම දෙයක් කිව්වොත් අපි ගත්තොත් අපේ day to day life එකට අවශ්‍ය දේවල් මොනවාරි milk වෙන්න පුළුවන්, milk packet, soap වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේවා අපි regular use කරනවා, right? Toothpaste වගේ regular daily basis හැමදාම උදේට රැට දවල්ට දවල්ටත් මදිනම් කියලා. හරි. Okay. So I used to do, right? And then for the night as well. So it's a regular basis. You can occasionally නෙමෙයිනේ දත්ම දින්න නේද? Occasionally දත්ම දින්න නැහැ. Right? මොනාරි අවුරුදු කාලෙට December වලට කියලා එහෙම occasionally yeah, not. But there are some products that you will consume occasionally. මොනාරි අපිටම අවුරුදු කාලෙන sweets ඊට පස්සේ firework වගේ බැලුවොත් නේද? Firework ඒක occasionally වෙන්න පුළුවන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. හරි එහෙනම් මේ බලන්න regular නම් අපිට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට යන්නේ flow production. බලන්න අපි use කරන regular product because why? there's a continuous demand. So then you'll be doing some flow production. In some make a usage regular the customer purchasing pattern regular purchase. Occasionally මිලදී ගන්න දෙයක් කියලා. එහෙනම් occasionally එක්ක batch production වගේ concept එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So likewise. Great. So we'll write that as well. What else, guys? The cost and the technology, right? Market size, those stuff, right? Okay, guys. So I just received 2021 paper. I'll share it shortly. Let's see. I also could check. I requested some of the students share. So now only they are sharing the one. Let's see. I'll show that to you as well. Right. So at the same time, will you be able to complete this part? Let me share the content. The factors to be considered. And also there's a good explanation as well I have provided. Right. So let's highlight a couple of points from there. And at the meantime, will you be able to complete this one? Right. Let's see the paper. So you got all these nature of product, the market size, yes. ඔයාලට තියෙන පොඩි market size එකක් එනවා flow production කියලා වැඩක් තියනවද? නෑ. එනවා I am not a batch production. නේද? ඔයාලට ඉන්නේ customers ලා කීප දෙනෙක්. Our market size is small. In our a batch or a job. And also the technology used and the equipments required. And the cost incurred. And also the purchasing pattern. And also something like the convenience in obtaining resources. Without a resource, obtain කරන්න අමාරු වෙනවා job production. Why? Because for a flow production, you require large quantity of materials. And the machinery will be waiting till you get the resources. And another point, I would say, convenience. Convenience in obtaining resources. Obtaining resources. That's just I checked the paper. This has been checked as it is just for 2 marks. Then you may then ලියන එක 2021 වල අහලා තියෙනවා just for 2 marks, right? Correct. Yes. So get these guys, convenience as well. Convenience in obtaining resources. With the resource order convenience ගන්න බැරි නම් no point of going for flow production. ඔයාලුකොට employees hire කරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ දා මොනවාද machineries අරගෙන ඒ machineries වලට හරියන capacity එකට ඔයාලට දෙන්න බැරි නම් මොනවාද වෙන්නේ? Yes, that would be a problem. You should be able to get the convenience, the resources conveniently. Right, guys. So assuming you are done, so just go through with you some of the stuff in the most awaited paper 2021 A level, and also it indicates as 2021 within brackets 2022. Right, now straight away going to the question number 6. Question number 6 එක තමයි අපි මේ කතා කරන lesson එක අහලා තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් බලන්න part 2 වල question number 6.1a, right? The thing that we just discussed indicate four criteria to be considered in selecting a production method, right? So that me අපි ලියපු point එකෙන් points 6 4ක් අහලා තියෙනවා as a one thing, right? Maybe that you can see the things, right? එහෙනම් මේ ලියන දේවල් just make sure that you complete your notes and all the stuff, so then you should be able to come with the correct answer. Correct. Right, so management part එක බලුවොත් අපි recently cover කරපු point එක goals and objectives අහලා තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ kind of a definition they have checked, right? Technical skills, frontline manager stuff, importance of planning, right? Sources of power, so like those stuff. And if we just check the so what we are focusing, what we are discussing at the moment in our paper class about the types of business organization, right? You have to classify the businesses based on the ownership. What else they have checked? So trying to convert to a partnership, advantages of having a private limited company compared to a partnership, right? Public corporation characteristics. So stuff have been checked, and also the lesson that we cover, lesson number 7. Okay, I think yes, right, check the IMF. We have discussed about the IMF. Right, guys, I'll be sharing this one. We can go through. Right. So coming back to our keyword, so let's highlight a couple of points. The best method of production depends on the type of product being made. සෙල්ලම බලන්න වෙන අපිට මොකද්ද product type එක කියලා. Now, ඒක බල තමයි අපි මුලින්ම decide කරන්නේ. So that's the first thing. Small firms, and then you have to think about the capacity or the market size. So small firms operating in the sector, right? So they'll be usually job production. Right? And also the niche manufacturers. Now, what do you mean by niche manufacturers? They are, you see a small market there, which has been fulfilled yet. Right? We'll be talking about the niche market in the marketing lesson. It's something to be explained in detail, but at this point, market එකක් තියෙන මේ market එකට තාම කවුරුත් address කරලා නැහැ. ඒ කවුරුත් approach කරලා නැහැ මේ market එකට. So then you have to go with the job production. Likewise, right? A tailor-made a product, which is fully customized. And the job production to meet the group orders, for example, a set of machine could be set up to make 500 of size 12 dresses, and then it could adjust to 600 for size 12 dresses. So you are producing in batches. And flow is the mass production. Mass production is a standardized product which is highly identical, such as soap. Now, soap powder, you think about it, there's no difference. And some canned drinks, soft drinks, all the steps. And then the economies of scale that will be achieved. Right? So likewise, and this is something called a very good point. Flow production offers economies of scale and low cost for one size fits all. One size fits all. One size fits all කියන්නේ ඒ තනි product එක හැමෝටම suitable වෙන්න තමයි මේක design කරන්නේ. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් something like a yogurt. The yogurt one size fits all. Right? එක product එක. ඒක ඕන කෙනෙක්ට තියෙන්නේ from that, yes, I mean, like if you think about the Highland yogurt එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට වෙන sizes එනවාද වෙන flavors එනවාද, just one thing, right? You got the one size fits all maybe there. Or use කරන මොනවාරි Atlas pen එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් නේද? The model of Atlas shooty pen, right? Was selling like 10 rupees, I don't know at this moment the price, right? අපි කියන්නේ normally 10 පෑනක් කියලා, right? So then it's the one size fits all, which is a flow production. And not many small manufacturers can afford the investment. Yes, a connector heavily needed to produce as flow, but due to the limitations in terms of capital, in terms of the technology, in terms of the number of machineries and the employees, they'll be starting as a batch, then slowly grow to a mass production or a flow production. Right, so guys, so that's all about it, the today's part. So we covered the production methods. So let's focus on the production layout plan. Next week, it's about how you physically set up your production flow. There are 4 methods that we'll be discussing about that part. Right, so thanks for joining everyone. And also this Wednesday, we don't have the class since 4 years. So then we all see you on next week. Thank you.